Welcome to Sports Communications Topic 3. This is 3C Interviews, Conferences and Events Part 5, where we continue talking about interviews. When we're giving interviews, there are some questions we should try and avoid, or responses we should try and avoid. When you get a question like, have you stopped taking drugs? If you say yes, then the likelihood is that people will say, well, when and what drugs were you taking? If you say no, why and what drugs are you taking will be the response. So the response needs to be something like, I've never taken drugs. Don't get defensive and just leave it at that. If a journo is really persistent, willfully misunderstand and be helpful, like perhaps you'd like to talk to our team doctor if you'd like to know about our medical regime. I could organise a meeting for you, and that tends to deflect the worst of the worst. Another kind of difficult question, have you ever been more frustrated by your team's play? Again, whatever the response is going to be to that, anything about frustration is going to be bad. So the response needs to be, my team is fantastic. However, like anyone, our play can always benefit from more work. We'll be analysing our performance today and over the coming week to work out what new weaknesses we can identify and come up with game strategies to address those. If you are frustrated, don't let any element of that come through, and definitely don't dwell on the negative. What do you think about your team's execution? If you get questions like that, which have a double meaning, the answer is not, I'm all for it, but answer with a straight face. Again, my team's fantastic. However, like anyone, we could benefit from more work. Oh, it sounds awfully familiar. So go through the same kind of thing. If you get stupid questions like, if you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be? Those kind of flake questions can be quite tricky. So it's a good idea to have a calm and light answer that you've prepared, like, well, Colin Meads was called Pine Tree Meads by a rugby fan. Maybe one day my fans might decide to give me a nickname. Or in Māori tradition, a great leader is called a tautara of their people by their iwi. It's something that's bestowed as an honour for service, not something that one can take for themselves. So just be very careful about those kind of questions. There are 9 horrible questions we're going to have a quick look at. Difficult things. What if? Don't answer what if, it's speculation. Remember, don't do speculation. Did you, whatever it is that they're asking about, yes or no. So that's the yes or no thing. This is designed to make you look bad. So just advise the reporter of what you're doing in the near future to address it. Be careful and don't lock yourself into arbitrary deadlines. What is your number one priority? Don't single out one priority, or you'll probably be accused of ignoring other things that are equally important. Tell the reporter you're looking at many issues and there are lots of options that are of primary concern for your stakeholders, and list them. Off the record, always respond as if you're on live TV and that it's going out right this minute, even if somebody asks you off the record. Doesn't matter what the trust level is, don't do it. Sometimes people will set up a two-ended question like it's the only options. You either want this or you're going to do this. Which one is it? Don't get painted into a corner. Just point out that actually the either or case means that there are only 2 options, but in actual fact there are a whole lot more, and make the specific points you intended to make. So will you do 1, 2 or 3 or 4? If the options presented don't make sense, rephrase the question by eliminating some and supply your own answers. You obviously don't want to do whatever. This isn't a question. Say, and it's meant to goad you into an emotional answer. But convert the question, the statement to a question, and don't repeat it if it's negative, remember. How will your competitors or the opposition respond? And that's when you say, well, you'll need to ask them. I can't speak on their behalf. And lastly, what is your stand on something? This is a golden opportunity question. Have something prepared that you really want to talk about and redeflect with that.